Team Aster, please pick up the Grimstroke just to make John upset.
No.
Please.
No. Aster, no, if you want to win. Oh, God bless they don't listen to you, Mike.
Well, they pick up the
They pick up
Troll,
that
though
troll.
that does still leave a position 5 to be
No.
wanted by Aster. No,
No.
no. We will wait
I'd
for that
rather,
position 5.
Mike, I'd rather see a position 5 troll. I'd rather see that over the Grimstroke. I just don't like it. I mean, yeah, I know numbers aren't the be all end all, but man, Grimstroke's numbers are terrible. Just terrible. And the funny thing is, Mike, it's not just this patch where Grimstroke was kind of, in my opinion, not kind of just meh. Right at the introduction of Grimstroke, when we were casting games last year, when he came out and teams were starting to pick him up, it just fell flat. And I think that's definitely because it came post-nerf.
I've got to ask you to stop talking about it now because Grimstroke hasn't been picked up and you've spoken about it this whole draft. Wraith King will be the 4th pick for King Gaming now. I can only imagine, we're on a 5-minute delay on stream, but I can only imagine how annoyed people that are watching are getting now. They're just like, the hero's not even there. What are they talking about? These idiot casters. Team Aster, 4th pickup for them.
I mean, that Wraith King coming out here is pretty unusual for King. I mean, this hero has popped in and out, with certain teams picking it up to great success, other times really not paying off as much as you'd expect. I think up against the lineup Team Aster does have lined up so far, with the exception of the Troll burning your mana, you really don't have anything to worry about as this Wraith King. You have a lot of heroes that can play with your tempo as well. The Disruptor, the Sand King, the Doom all come online fairly fast. You just need level 6. And Wraith King does want to be up and active early on, so the only thing Keen would really need is a mid that can set tempo quite nicely as well. Maybe something like a Queen of Pain would be great. A Lina wouldn't be too bad either for early burst. Or even a Puck to jump in and out along with that Wraith King if he does opt to get a fast blink. All of those options do work out quite well, and I think it would definitely pay off for the lineup. They have to play aggressive when you have that Wraith King.
Ooh. Hello. Jakiro comes out from Aster. That's a hero we haven't seen in a while, personally, you and I, John, but I do love seeing this hero pop up. Now, I was going to ask you, though, because you pointed out the fact that the Wraith King really had no opposition that can burn through his mana. There is that Troll build that is really rare to see, but the Diffusal build on the Troll does seem like it could be quite useful this game, especially for that mid-game against the Wraith King. Odds are we're probably not going to see it come out, but it does feel like it would actually work quite decently, especially in conjunction with the Battle Trance.
It would work out quite well, and again, as mentioned, that's the only thing that can really threaten that Wraith King. Just that Diffusal build-up on the Troll could throw a spanner in the works for Keen's draft. I think this Jakiro pickup just works out quite well against this hero as well. He can burn through those skeletal summons fast, and it's just a very good wave clearing hero as a support. So the Wraith King's massive push is actually fairly easy to stave off with what Aster has under POS 5.
Well, one final pick for both these teams, of course, Aster getting rid of the Sniper. I like seeing the Sniper ban because screw Sniper. Team Aster, though. What do you finish this off with this draft? It does look like it's missing something. It just feels like they need something big. Someone like you pointed out the Queen of Pain. I would love to see it. They will go for the Medusa instead. Fair enough. I suppose the thing is, there's not really a way to shut down this Medusa as it stands right now. I mean, you've got the Doom available, I guess, but John, how do you feel? Is the Medusa a good pick here? Do you see anything Ken can do about that Medusa?
It's a solid pick for sure. You're able to punish that Wraith King. You're going to be able to drain his mana by a fair bit just with a Mystic Sneak spam if you manage to land it right. You have a great way of scaling into that late game. The Troll, in this case, will definitely go for something fast. Maybe phase into, phase boots into something like a Yasha Diffusal for the Troll. Medusa soaking up more farm, but Keen Gaming goes with a mid Batrider. And I actually really like that response to the Medusa. You can apply a lot of pressure early on. It still fits into the tempo that Keen Gaming wants to set. And, once you get that control on the Troll or the Medusa, you'll pretty much have a pretty easy ride afterwards. So it's a solid pickup for Keen. Really ties your team fight together, which is already pretty massive. Aster, of course, has pretty decent team fight as well. You're riding on that Dark Seer, combining with your Jack and Earth Spirit for sure, and maybe having them in tight choke point for the Medusa to get that Stone Gaze off. But you have greater scaling on Aster's side, so if you can hold out for possibly 30 minutes at the least, 14 minutes at the latest if you have a very rough time, I can definitely see Aster scaling way better into that late game.
Overall, though, I know you've said that the late game is Aster's way, and that's fair enough. But I've got to ask you, over the whole game, which draft came out on top, John?
What came out on top? I'd say Aster. Honestly, I feel like they have ways of dealing with what Keen Gaming does want to put off. But Keen Gaming actually looks terrifying. Once Old 11 gets his 6, once you have Dark with his Static Storm as well, that's going to be enough. Just the Doom and Static Storm is such massive control in the team fights and such a massive amount of damage early on that if Keen Gaming does play around those cooldowns quite well, they should be able to just control the map. The key thing is they cannot afford to waste any time, right? Every time that Doom's up, they have to find a pickoff. They have to find a pickoff, translate to a push, or at least plant some aggressive wards in the jungle to shut down the Medusa. And if they don't do that, Aster will have a lot of room to farm back up and really delay the game. That's going to be the key here for Aster. Just make it as long and painful as possible for Keen to push. Still try to find farm around the map. Get your Medusa and Troll big. And afterwards, the response from Keen isn't going to be as game-changing.
I love those Korean castles. I really do. I really enjoy those too. Anyway, I do agree with your sentiment about the drafts though, John. Keen Gaming does look a lot scarier, but like you said, if Aster can drag this out late enough, it should just be all their way. It should.
30 seconds.
Not necessarily going to be, though, because we have seen Medusas lose in the late game, but it is not very often. Nevertheless, see how much Old Chicken can get done on this Wraith King. Of course, Old 11 going to be taking the safe lane Doom for his team right now. XXS going to be there on the Darkseer, and I feel like Aster probably going to go for a bit of a lane swap here. You'd probably want that Darkseer to be up against the Wraith King instead, but I guess we'll find out. I mean, the thing is, Old 11 is just going to be able to devour any creep you put the Iron Shell on. So he is copying a lot of damage right now from Baboka. In fact, they will have a roll available in 3 seconds, but perhaps not willing to dive underneath that tier 1 tower. And it does look like they're going to go for the creep skip anyway, so they're not going to give Old 11 the chance to actually go in for a devour on the Iron Shell creep. I've got to say, these Dooms, farming underneath the tier 1 tower with these waves hitting up on you, I'm not sure how well this is going to work out for the Doom.
It's not going to go smoothly at all for the Doom. He has pretty massive front and backswing, so maybe a bit for a rough time, but that's
Why is the admin pausing?
Yeah, that's a question mark for sure. I have no clue. I guess that was a mistake. Yeah,
well, they're going to get first blood top lane. It looks like Q. He is dead. Indeed, he is dark. He'll find the last right click for Boka. He will have time to react, though, now. He will TP up to the top lane. Kaka, he'll end up surviving, though, but Boka, it does look like he's planning to stick around a bit longer. Q will rotate over as well. So we're going to have a tri-lane versus tri-lane situation now. Kaka, going to stay around with pretty low HP on the Sand King. Going to eat through those tangos, but still going to be in a bit of an awkward spot here if Baboka plans to roll on him. This does, however, leave now Old 11 to farm up in the safe lane, though. Looks like they are going to dive Old Chicken. Kaka will be there to protect Baboka. Boulder Smash will come out from Baboka onto Old Chicken. Looks like Dark may end up going down here. They've got to pick... No, they don't pick a target. They were still going after the Wraith King. They could have got him Dark.
It's a much bigger kill if you go for that Wraith King, especially in the laning phase while he's extremely weak by himself. Just the hero alone is not that great at level 1 to, I want to say, 4. By 4 he starts to kind of pick up, but before then it's just kind of lackluster. They want to punish that, but again, they just don't get anything, and it's going to be hard if you give this much space to the Wraith King, of course. He's just going to be able to at least farm the jungle to play catch-up.
Well, this is going to make it really safe now for Jay to just farm up on the troll and old chicken. We'll see how much he can get done. But it just doesn't look like it's going to be his lane. Keen Gaming may have to go for a bit of a lane swap, but at least for the moment, they're going to stick around. We'll move over to that mid lane, which we haven't talked about quite yet, but Chuan is going to be on that Medusa up against Ying on that Batrider, and you pointed out how the Batrider mid lane was going to be rather clever up against this Medusa, and John, you are correct as per usual. Chuan is struggling quite a bit, and it goes back to that sticky napalm span. Like, that turn rate is just so disgusting to go up against, and in Chuan, he tries to do his best with it, but he can really only rely on throwing out those Mystic Snakes for those last hits.
Yeah, it's a rough time. It's not the most washed out lane, I have to say. It's actually fairly even, but you're not going to be seeing any sort of kill opportunity. In fact, you're not going to really see this Medusa overtake. We tend to see the Medusa really take over, but not in this case.
Top lane, old chicken. He will end up losing his life though. Baboka, maybe the trade here. In fact, no, he does stick charge up, and now Dark's the one that's in trouble. They'll burst him down as well. It looks like Kaka will find the trade, but it is certainly not going to be worthwhile. They lose the Wraith King, they lose their Disruptor for the sake of a Baboka Earth Spirit.
Yeah, not the best of times here for Keen Gaming up top. I'm still surprised they are forcing this out. Maybe they really prioritize that early farm on their Dune and really don't want to contest that creep cutting, but it's coming at a very heavy cost.
Certainly not working out for them yet. At the very least, their mid lane's still going pretty well, but it is a Batrider after all. Like, although he does have large amounts of impact if he can get that Blink 4 stuff early, it's still going to be a Medusa that's easily going to catch up in the jungle, though. Ying is going to make the dive now with the Firefly, but Juan, he just turns on the mana shield and suddenly that gank is over. Meanwhile, old chicken again going to be in trouble. Kinetic Field came out, but it will not matter. They've got too much control up this top lane for the Wraith King to do anything. And as it stands, he's still sitting at level 2 on that Wraith King. You look at the Troll now at level 3, and his supports are the same.
It really comes down to just the Wraith King in lane being lackluster, especially against a tri-lane. Right? The hero just doesn't contribute too much to this lane. He has a stun, he has a crit on himself, and maybe Vampiric as the game goes on, but your damage output isn't great, your tankiness is definitely lackluster. Again,
gets rolled on as well. Boulder Smash will get that job done. And now Kaka, he's trying to survive in the Sandstorm, but they have a sentry, although nice burrow. He finds 3, but it won't be enough. And old chicken, don't stay in there, sir. He's trying to make a run for it, but Boka now going to run back in, but no Thunderstrike. Should be able to tick him out, and it does. Though they still don't find the Wraith King. But man, they get darn close, old chicken. He survives on about 70 HP. He has no regen items left on the Wraith King, so he'll have to rely on one of his supports bringing some in. Dark probably will commit his self for it, though they have found Q on the Jakiro, but will it even matter? There's a roll in from Baboka. He's going to find Dark on the Disruptor now. And so it's basically a direct trade coming out for Aster again. That'll make it a 4-6, and it does actually look like old chicken is now thinking about rotating. In fact, no, he'll go back up towards the northeast. I thought he was going to run towards that bot lane or perhaps even the jungle, but it turns out he runs straight back up to the off lane. But what are you doing here if you're the Wraith King? He can't actually contest the troll anymore.
He really can't. And it's just down to the nature of the hero. He just doesn't contribute much in the lane. He can't trade hits. If it was a 2v2 lane, you can kind of work it out. 3v3, you really just don't do much.
Oh, mid lane. They're trying to make the dive down to Chuan, but Baboka was waiting. He will get Burrow Striked up, and Chuan, he's going to try and help him out. The Baboka should just be dead. Now a lasso onto the Medusa. Baboka still being chased down Ying. He'll find the kill. Chuan may end up going down for his trouble, and it looks like he will. A nice glimpse back from Dark. Great plays there from Keen Gaming. I mean, considering how bad of a start they've had, at least Ying is having a great old time on the Batrider.
They definitely are giving this bat a lot to work with, and slowing down that Medusa is going to be key. You don't want this hero to have a good start. They are really starting to... I mean, she was working that jungle earlier when they popped the Shrine as well, so the Medusa can come online that fast if you're not going to be careful. So it's a hero you definitely have to keep in constant check if you are keen, and the fact that they are committing all these resources down mid, it's a very good sign. Just slow down this Medusa and kind of just accept that the troll will have some itemization.
Ying gets jumped on mid lane. XXS is there with the wall as well. Old 11 though comes in with the Doom and does throw out the Infernal Blade. Ying, he's going to survive all that damage, and now they might find the Darkseer instead. It looks like they will indeed. Burrow Strike comes out from Kaka as well. Baboka, his roll gets blocked off. They glimpse him back and Baboka's gone. Chuan, can he find anybody? No, he cannot. Keen Gaming just playing on the edge in this game number 2, but another 2 kills going their way.
And yeah, again, those are massive kills to get. You managed to get that first wall, force that wall from Aster. You force that leveling up of the wall, which we really don't see too often. Like, we generally see even the VAC come ahead without the wall at this point in the game, but Aster was forced to kind of level that up, and it just doesn't amount to anything. He did leave his lane for that as well.
Kaka doesn't spawn out Q. Now he will. Q thought he may have been in trouble, but Kaka does not have any help around to actually get the Jakiro down. Like XXS does just return back to the off lane of Aster. Try and contest Old 11 though. Old 11 is level 9 now. My goodness. I mean, to be fair, the Darkseer is also level 9, but just the differences in hero levels right now. To put it into perspective, John, after the Darkseer and the Doom, everyone else is level 7 or under.
It's really down to how that offlane went. It's just basically trading farm 1v1 with both sides kind of just clearing a wave by themselves, and it does mean these 2 heroes are definitely over-leveled. I think that kind of favors the Doom, I have to say. I'm sure you want that fast EXP on the Darkseer, but the Doom has higher impact at this point.
Ying gets caught out. Ice Path is there as well. Wall even being dropped just in case. They will find the kill. Nice smoke rotation there from Aster now. They look towards that mid lane where Chuan does start pushing it out as the Medusa. They know Dark is in the tree line somewhere in Q. He's just going to run in. There's the roll as well. They found Dark. Ice Path connects. There will be Old 11 there to try and help out on the Doom, but is he going to be enough? Dark still not dead, however, and now Old Chicken comes in. They found Baboka and they found Q. And it looks like Aster do not want to borrow this team fight any longer. They will back out.
Yeah, and again, these are some really great responses coming out from Keen, especially after that really rough start up top. Their investments elsewhere are starting to pay off, and they catch Jay out as well.
Yeah, massive play here from Ying. He just moves forward and he finds the kill by himself. Now Baboka, he tried to help out, but he gets caught out as well. That's going to be another 2 kills going to the way of Keen Gaming. And again, you've just got to bring it back to this mid Batrider. I mean, how much work has Ying done already?
He's done so much, and that investment down mid, that insurance that Ying would get the start he needs, is paying off. He's going to have all the things he wants. He's been active on the map very fast. He's going to have travels up soon. And with that travels, he's just going to be able to contest every time Aster wants to pull out their own aggression. And, you know, he can flash farm quite well as well. So it's all really looking good for Keen Gaming. After a rough start, 10 minutes in, 12-7 now, and 3k lead for Keen. A very nice bounce back indeed.
It's certainly a massive lead to have 10 minutes into the game. Aster, they do manage to claim that tier 1 tower, or was it denied? Can't see it. I imagine it was taken down, but nevertheless, due to travel now, will come up onto Ying, so it does show he's planning to get even more aggressive on this Batrider. So it doesn't really have the initiation tool, but doesn't really seem to need it. Every time he's gotten the lasso off, he's just knocked them back with Flame Break. Used it that way. Bot lane.
He certainly is playing around with the limitations of that hero quite well. But again, it's actually quite interesting to see this exchange. You're looking at Medusa, who isn't quite running away. In fact, it's just 300 gold ahead of the Batrider, who hasn't spent any time really farming as much.
XXS.
And
sorry, John. He has a very interesting use of the wall. He just seems to drop it every single time he feels like he needs to do any little thing. And now he gets glimpsed back. He didn't get the tower deny either. And with that doom from old 11, he's going to lose his life. Again, well, they will find the disruptor. I mean, he literally just used the illusions from the wall to find that kill, which doesn't generally happen that easily. Meanwhile, bot lane, however, MLPDotA, he commits a magnetize off. There was a buyback from Q to try and get back down here to defend. Does turn out to lead to nothing. But what I was trying to talk about before, John, is XXS on this Darkseer. Throwing out the wall pretty much any time he feels necessary. But it is a very, very, I want to say generous usage of the wall.
it's definitely not the most... I want to say it's not the most efficient use of the wall we have seen so far. I mean, it's efficient in the sense that he doesn't leave it off cooldown that long. So you do have that up every single time, and he is maximizing that uptime. But the situations where he throws it out just kind of feels underwhelming. And even if he does throw it out in a massive team fight, again, without
bot lane, John. Bot lane, Static Storm is going to be very nice. XXS, though, he is on Kaka. Kaka does manage to burn strike out. In fact, no, he didn't. He does end up going down. Old Chicken as well, almost losing his life. Though he does have reincarnation. They do get the lasso off MLPDotA. He's going to be the target though. Ice Path again, just stopping him in his tracks. And now Q, he will get caught out. Can they find any more? There will be a glimpse. They'll get MLPDotA, and it looks like MLPDotA has nowhere to go. He'll lose his own life. Old 11 now trying to make a chase straight onto Jane, doing so much damage as well, thanks to that Doom. But he doesn't actually have the Doom out to throw out, so won't be able to finish the troll off. They do find 2 kills, however, and that was a Static Storm committal for that, but still going to be well worth it, especially if they find that T1 tower.
Definitely so. I think the key thing here that Aster is trying to do is protect these tier 1s because they have such farm-heavy heroes. They want to maintain these TP points in case these heroes get caught out, but they've already lost the top one. Their mid one is kind of half HP, and the bot one is at that point as well. And the heroes on Keen Gaming's side, again, just with that push potential they have, is going to be keeping these towers under threat, especially once the Raid King decides to commit his skeletons out. It's not going to be an easy time to stave off that push. You certainly have ways of de-pushing with that Jack, but again, it's going to be a bit of a hard time here.
See what they can get done. Old Chicken pushing so darn quickly with those skeletons. He's gonna keep going. I mean, there's just nobody there to stop him right now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
We do see the game slowing down again once more, and that definitely benefits Aster a bit more. Again, they are trying to get the farm up in these massive cores, so any slowdown does benefit them quite massively.
Certainly does. Mid lane Chuan gonna be there to defend by himself. In fact, no, he will have the backup there, though. Keen Gaming look to be setting up for another kill attempt, it seems. They do jump in. Kaka trying to find a target. The Ice Path will block them out. Boulder Smash will be there as well, though they found a glimpse of. They will be able to take down Q on that Jakiro, and he does go down very easily. Aster again just trying to farm up on Chuan right now on that Medusa, but they are losing so much map control because of all this.
It's something they should expect from their draft. Again, we mentioned this at the draft phase when the Medusa came out. It's just that you have two heroes that massively farm. It's gonna take a while for them to get a grip, and they're gonna have to lose this ground.
Well, they roll in. They're going to try and go after Old Chicken. Nice back wall, but Kaka, he gets a 3-man burrow. Is it going to be enough, however? Old Chicken, he's already lost his life, and now they roll in Kaka. He's going to be the next target. They found a Q Ice Path, and they found the macro as well, though. Old 11, he'll take him down. Now the Glimpse back. They actually did find the Doom on the Troll, though. The Glimpse saves his life for the moment. Old Chicken going to go straight after Baboka and finds that kill. The buyback was there from Kaka as well. That'll be the end of that, though I would argue that's successful defense from Aster. They do force out Kaka's buyback throughout all this. They only lose their 2 supports. So they're still behind, but they buy more time.
I don't disagree with you. That was a pretty good showing coming out from Aster. They still managed to hold off. They saved their chorus. In fact, I'd say Keen Gaming saved their chorus for them with that glimpse back on the Troll. Rather unfortunate, as the Doom was committed, and when you do drop that massive cooldown spell, you want to find a kill. But Aster understands, with those big spells on cooldown now, it's their opportunity to smoke up.
It certainly is. Like, can they find anybody? Aster goes straight towards Kaka, and well, they do get scanned out. It's a big scan coming out of Keen. To be fair, Old 11, he stuck around. Ice Path will not connect, but the roll did. Now the rest of the cavalry coming in to help him out. He's just so tanky. Kaka, he found a 3-man burrow into the epicenter. He's going to get all 4 of them with this. The macro does nothing. They've lost everything on the side of Aster, though. No, they found the Wraith King with the battle trance, but it's not going to be worth it. Old 11 with an ultra kill on that Doom. But that was all Kaka on the Sand King.
Yeah, it definitely was. Just getting that very good burst strike into that massive epicenter. The fact that Aster had no detection to stop that. It's a pretty big mistake. He can just go in, Sandstorm, channel that epicenter, and suddenly you're stuck in a very bad spot fighting up that ramp. You have to be careful with your positioning here as Aster. Sure, that was a big opening without the Doom, but the epicenter was still there. And you know, you didn't have the vac wall anymore at that point, so it was really unfortunate for Aster that they just didn't get that timing right.
It certainly didn't. At the very least, Jay's diffusal blade on that troll, does seem to be working very well in taking down Old Chicken on the Wraith King, but it just doesn't seem to be enough in the end. It's the rest of the heroes behind just controlling Aster so long. Still, all this time has bought Chuan enough time to get the Manta style up at the very least, but it's not anywhere near enough to contest what Keen's throwing out at them at the moment.
It's definitely not going to be enough just yet. It's a start, but you have a lot more to work on this Medusa. You need the talents up as well. It's going to be a bit more time, really. It's just a slow hero to get online, and Keen Gaming's draft is very fast. Like, again, they do want to be aggressive early, and they have been doing that.
Gonna go in here. Kaka found another double burrow strike, and they're gonna go straight after Chuan now. Lasso sounded like it was there, but Chuan still surviving. They do get the reincarnation down. Chuan is still pretty darn healthy as well. Baboka rolling after that Bat Rider, though another double burrow strike from Kaka. They found XXS. It looks like Ying, he will lose his life now. The Epi, well, it was cancelled off. XXS moving forward. They want to go after Dark on that Disruptor. In fact, no, they'd rather Old Chicken on the Wraith King. They do not find the Disruptor in time, though. Old Chicken, he is alone right now. Dual Breath will come out from Q. Ice Path will also connect, and again, Aster. They lost the Medusa. But man, it took so darn long to even get that done. Keem lose 3 in the process.
Yeah, and that was basically off the back of Baboka canceling that epicenter. He had the silence out right in time. And again, that just secured him that team fight. Sure, I don't think the epicenter would have done too much there. He was dusted up. Kaka was probably just going to die anyway, but still securing that nice turnaround for Aster. A good place coming out from Baboka overall, but again, if you're Keen right now, you're not going to be happy. You've lost your Wraith King multiple times. 3-5-14 on our Wraith King now, and that's not a good sign. Old Chicken is actually a bit behind in farm.
Q gets caught out on the Jakiro, John. It's a dieback if he ends up losing his life, and it is. Old 11 will go ahead and pick that one up, and I mean, look, they're not going to really be able to capitalize off this, it seems, but still, a dieback is a dieback.
You know, there's one thing we weren't talking about. Old 11 is pretty farmed up. He is in the lead of net worth, but we haven't talked about his items. He has that Midas, he's had it for a while, but he has the Ags up and the BKB. So his Doom is going to be massive in these fights. As long as he stays alive, he can stand in the middle. Doom won't tick out in terms of time. And you're just going to have that much more extended control. It's going to be very useful against the Medusa and the Troll. I'm not sure which one you really prioritize here. It's going to be a tricky one for Old 11.
Gimps back. Mid lane. It looks like they did end up finding the Troll Wall. Oh, excuse me, but Boca ends up getting caught out on the Earth Spirit. I thought it was the Troll for a second, but nonetheless, Roshan now will be the attempt here from the side of King Gaming. Old 11 just going to be on the front lines tanking that Roshan. It's just not really that hard, apparently. They don't even have their main source of DPS in there yet, but now Old Chicken will get in with the Wraith King. And Aster just do not feel confident to try and fight this, especially without Baboka's Earth Spirit. Aegis being left on the deck here. It looks like they're going to give it to Ying on the Batrider, and that is something you don't see every day, is giving it to a Batrider over all things, but I suppose Ying, again, has been having a lot of influence in these team fights, so it does make enough sense.
Yeah, I do like seeing that coming out here for Keen. The one issue they have is that Ying does get controlled up a bit too hard, dies out too fast. So if he does have that second life, you're not going to have too many issues. It comes down to how your draft is like as well. The only other course you have is a Doom and Wraith King. Neither of those really requires a second life. The Doom, once he throws out Doom, is going to be satisfied to die. He's going to be set, although with the Aghanim's, you probably want to keep him alive longer. But it doesn't matter as much. The Wraith King, of course, has a second life by default. And it's only really the Batrider that needs that durability, that needs that added time in the team fights. So, King Gaming giving it to Ying is pretty much the best choice they have here.
Mid lane, there is a jump in though. Burrow Strike did not connect, but he found Q anyway. Infernal Blade comes out and Q cannot survive that damage. Old 11, my goodness. One swipe of the sword and that's all it takes, really. They're going to go for that mid tier 2 now after taking that top tier 2 tower. Of course, the bot wave has been pushed in by the side of Aster, but it doesn't look like it's really going to cost the side of King Gaming anything. And it just seems like they can just keep this up, honestly, if they really wanted to. They may go for a hero pick-off now, and they are going to start taking over that dire jungle, it seems. Arca will cancel off the TP. They find Baboka here on the Earth Spirit, and they know he's around there somewhere. Burrow Strike will not be there in time, but he cancelled the roll-off, and now the Burrow comes in. Baboka, he got the bounty, but it does cost him his life in the end.
How often do we see Dooms get off to this really amazing start? 10-0 now for Old 11, man. He really is setting the momentum right now for Keen. Like, we're not seeing Old Chicken have a great time, but Old 11 is carrying and picking up the slack, especially after that hard lane Old Chicken had up top. It's definitely needed.
A static storm coming out. BKB was there, however, from Doom. Looks like the glimpse will be back on the troll. And it looks like they will be able to find Aster J as well, though. Ying coming in. Wall was dropped. Old 11. Gonna fall pretty darn low, but they got the lasso off onto Chuan. It's not gonna be enough, however. Macropire will be there. Ying loses the Aegis as well. There will be the respawn onto Ying, but he has no way out of this situation. He's going to end up losing his life, and Aster became another great team fight for themselves.
It was fairly greedy for Keen Gaming to go for that fight, especially since Old Chicken was on the exact opposite side of the map. Just trying to farm up, he doesn't even get that tier 2 down bot. So it does definitely feel like a bit of a wasted Aegis there. they just didn't manage to really find the 2 kills they wanted. They at least got 1, but you know they were banking on Medusa dying as well.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Top lane. Juan getting caught out very out of position. He's all alone right now as well. They're going to jump in old chicken. Juan still has mana to boot, but Kaka is there with the body blocks, and well, his team is trying to catch up to help out. Now even the neutral's helping out. The nice ice path is there by Q. Kaka will lose his life. Chuan is still alive throughout all that. Now the flame break, but it won't be enough. Static Storm as well being thrown out. They are going to roll into the Provoker, trying to find Dark, and well, it looks like they have found him as well. Jay, he just commits the BKB to survive all that. Ying will be able to TP out in the end, but they lose another 3 heroes, and I mean, I thought Chuan was out of position. Apparently he was not.
Radiant's top tower has
Yeah, it definitely felt like he was caught out, but Aster actually manages to come in right in time to back him up, and with that, they do manage to hold onto their Medusa. They get 3 nice pickoffs, and we are starting to see Aster come online. I did say they had to hold for 30 to 35 minutes at the earliest. They're managing to bounce back much earlier than I expected, but if Keen Gaming loses this much ground and keeps bleeding it out, their scaling just isn't there. They're gonna need that refresh up on Old 11 fast, and he is farming it as fast as he can, but you're gonna need that double Doom soon. You really need to farm an Old Chicken, right? The impact this Raid King has had has been minimal. I want to say it almost feels like a non-factor at this point, Old Chicken. 3, 6, 17. The farm on him, not amazing. The biggest item he has, Mjolnir. He hasn't really had the opportunity to just right-click in the middle of fights anywhere.
Oh, it's another... Oh, it's not even a one-sided game. It's another very even game coming out from both these two. Just team fight after team fight, going each other's way. Bot lane. Ying gonna get caught out though. BKB TP away will be alright. I thought the Stone Gaze may catch him out in the end, but it wasn't enough from Chuan. So the net worth lead will remain the way of King Gaming though. That net worth lead certainly not going to be as accurate as you'd hope. I mean, Chuan is still just a menace to deal with. The KG, they are going to smoke up. If they can get rid of every other hero around Chuan, then he is just a sitting duck in the end. But they've got to get everybody else around him first. They are running the correct way as well, though it looks like Aster's almost set up for this. Jay just waiting on that high ground. XXS, he does have the vac wall ready to go as well. King Gaming, they will not go up towards that dire jungle.
Rather strange as they did have that ward out. I figured they might have spotted someone.
I think they did
just
spot
go the
them.
other way.
I think they spotted them, but I think they realized that Aster probably was also aware of what was going on. Aster do also have a smoke of their own on Q right now if they want to counter smoke, but King Gaming, they are kind of split up right now as well. I mean, Kaka may just get caught out here if he's not careful. Looks like he will be able to blink out in the end.
Right, so you're going to have issues with Chuan now. He finishes up his butterfly. He's working towards that satanic, and once that's up, I really don't see the control coming out for Keen. They're going to have to land a massive set of dooms and a perfect initiation coming out from Kaka. But so far, it's been kind of lackluster, to say the least. Like, they still don't have a blink up in this bat. They have the BKB, Yules, Travels, but no way for the bat to just jump in and take someone out.
Yeah, it's certainly a bit interesting considering the start Ying had, but it is starting to cost them now. Aster, go ahead and claim that mid tier 2. Roshan, still about 2 minutes away from being respawned, but they do spot out Old Chicken up at the top lane. Perhaps feeling like they could make it in time to catch him out, but he does TP out as well. And now you have this almost stalemate kind of thing going on here between the two teams, though there will be another smoke. There is a refresher orb now available in Old 11. So double Doom coming out. Can he even afford that much mana? I don't actually think he can.
He barely has enough to pop 2 Dooms, but he won't have really any room for anything else.
But they'll jump in. Kaka gets a Burrow Strike with Chuan. He had used up already. Now BKB and Stonegaze being committed. In fact, the Doom was there, however, from Old 11, but it was just too darn late. They found Old 11 in the stone, though, still. The side of Aster trying to back out. Old 11 making the chase with the Infernal. The Shrine will be popped. Now Dark is in trouble. Baboka, a nice roll in. He'll find that kill. Now Old 11 also losing his own life. Reincarnation is there from Old Chicken, but it's not going to matter. He's left alone. And although they had the double Doom out, Chuan is still surviving this damage perfectly fine. Jay, not so much. He will end up losing his life on the Troll Warlord. But what does it matter when you just cleared out the rest of Keen Gaming?
Yeah, it's definitely a massive win for Aster, and again, we're at 32 minutes. This is when Keen Gaming drops off. Sure, you have that double Doom, but it took you way too long to find your second target there, which means you're just really running around copying too much damage. You don't have too many defensive items on this Doom either, so it's really all just a focus on living long enough to get that double Doom, but at this point, the follow-up isn't there for Keen, and that was actually pretty clean initiation, all things considered. It comes down to really Ying not being able to find targets as well without the blink, and he is still rushing something else. It's not the best sign. It doesn't give me much confidence as well. Like, you need the lasso to come out. You need to isolate one of these heroes and make it easier for the Doom instead of relying on that double Doom to come out and then following up with the epicenter stun. It's just much harder to pull off than asking the Batrider to blink in, lasso one out, and taking that simple pick off. It's just not there for Keen Gaming, and I'm surprised that they are still kind of going this route in their build-up.
Well, Aster now going to feel confident enough to go for the Roshan attempt. And it's actually going to be a pretty fast Roshan, though. The bot lane is being pushed in here by Kaka. The TP as well being cancelled off. Now they know that tier 3 is theirs for the taking. Roshan is almost down, however. And it looks like they're actually going to have to surge their way back to the tier 3. In fact, it will be enough time that Chuan can rotate over with the TP and make sure it doesn't go down. Keen Gaming. Just look at all their items, you look at these heroes, and the only person that seems like he can get anything done is Old 11, but even then, if he can't just stand there and right-click this Medusa, side of Keen Gaming, they really have no way of winning these team fights anymore.
Yeah, they definitely don't. They've pretty much waited too long. We're at 35 minutes. This is definitely when Aster is just completely online. Net worth now, it's on the way to Aster after being on Keen Gaming's side for the most part of this game. And now it's less than 1k lead for Aster. The win probability from Dota Plus also pegs it at 75% going Aster's way. I don't blame them, and that's just going to go up as the game goes on, because again, you don't have that scalability coming out. You have that massive Doom, but you don't have the follow-up. The Wraith King as a late-game core, just not as amazing as a Troll or a Medusa.
Well, Aster gonna go ahead and clean up the last outer tower, and they might just go for the tier 3s now. Side of Keen Gaming, they are pushing in that mid lane, so they might try to go for a trade here, because they know they can't really go for this engagement. They're gonna have to make a decision, though. The Aegis has to be taken out on Chuan. Mid lane is being pushed in. There was a glimpse back there onto Chuan, though no follow-up. It looks like, though, this tier 3 mid tower is going to drop fairly soon. Old Chicken not even planning to back off yet. He realizes he has free reign over this, and now Aster actually forced back to try and defend. So the tier 3's already gone, and now they're going to go in. Burrow Strike is there from Kaka, though. He's already been killed off straight away. Old Chicken, Old 11 cannot afford to die like this, but he does. He does have a buyback available. Meanwhile, Old Chicken still pushing in the mid lane by himself, but how far can he take it? He's going to try and go for the bot racks afterwards, it seems. Aster, though, going to go for their own pod racks. In fact, they're going to go for the tier 4s now. So they're not going to give Old Chicken the time to do this, though. If the side of Keen can delay it long enough, they may be able to sneak a win here. Aster gonna keep going. Can they burst this Medusa down? The back wall is nice into the ice path. They're just gonna clean them up here. 2 down already. That was a dieback on the Doom, but Boka's life has been forfeit. The old chicken now rotates back over into the base. It won't matter though. He loses 1 life. Odds are he's gonna lose another in just a moment. Ancient has been exposed. Ice path comes out, does connect on Ying, but how do you defend this any further? Like, he's standing in the fountain right now, John. Twan is copying no damage. This is ridiculous. Aster, they do pull off an easy game number 2 win. I say easy. I mean, they were behind for a lot of the time. But when you've got a Medusa, it really doesn't matter once you hit that 30-minute plus mark.
Definitely so. And again, we mentioned it from the draft. Keen Gaming, their lineup could not answer Aster's past the 35-minute mark. And what happened once we approached 30, 35? They were losing all the team fights. They had no control. They had great utility in that double Doom, but they didn't have the follow-up. And again, they just stalled a bit too long. Aster just came online, found their opening, and just pushed and ended the game.
Certainly did. And John, with that, we move on to our second series of the night. It will actually be Aster again, though. This time around, they'll be up against Typhoon, which is a newer team that I'm sure you and we haven't heard of much at all, have we?
Yeah, definitely not. We didn't see them pop out, although, again, the names are familiar. It looks to be a pretty veteran stack.
Yeah, pretty much everybody there we have casted multiple times. So there you go. Looks like they've just kind of got into a 5-stack and just made it through to the open qualifiers, to the close. Nevertheless, we'll move on to that series in just a moment. It is, of course, MLPDotA and johnxfire. Hopefully, it won't be too long of a wait, though. I will try to keep you guys updated on how long it will be for that next draft to start. Thank you for watching. We'll be right back in just a moment.